plainenglish.com/500, where you can watch the lesson with video and pictures. But now, here's the audio of Lesson 500. Ready?
I'm ready.
Perfect. So this is it. This is officially lesson number 500. So welcome to everyone who's listening on the live video, our first ever live stream, first ever appearance on YouTube also. So welcome to that. Great to have you here bright and early Saturday morning, September 3rd, 2022. And for those of you in Asia, thanks for staying up late for us. Now, if you're not watching live, then you can watch this full lesson, including the video, at plainenglish.com/500. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, then of course you can continue to listen where you are. But to get the full experience, I do recommend you watch the video at plainenglish.com/500. JR is here. JR is the producer. Say hello, JR.
Hi, everyone. I'm JR. I'm the producer, and I'm going to be here on this lesson with Jeff.
Perfect. And JR was in charge of these fabulous decorations that you see behind us. That was his handiwork. He figured it out. He had the vision. He bought all of the stuff. He came over last night, set it up. So thank you very much, JR, for all of that, in addition to everything else that you do for us every week.
You're welcome. Everyone's for the listeners.
Perfect. And so on Thursday, which was lesson 499, you heard all about Chicago. And on today's special 500th lesson, JR and I are going to take turns telling you all about what we like about this great city. So I have lived here for a total of 15 years. JR has lived here for a number of years as well. So we are excited to share with you all of the things that we especially like. I'm ready. Are you ready, JR?
Yes, Jeff. I told you I've been ready since we just started. I was like, let's do it.
JR is ready, so let us get started. So JR's number one favorite topic in Chicago is the food scene. So tell us about the food scene and what do you like about that, JR?
All right. So, I've lived in several cities. I might not travel as much, but when I moved to a city, I spent there like at least a year. So I have visited a lot of restaurants in my life, but never as many and never as good and delicious like I have here in Chicago. The picture that you're looking right now is from this very famous restaurant called the Aviary. It's very hard to get a table there. Sometimes you have to wait like up to a month when you make a reservation. And when I was there, I was lucky to have the table inside the kitchen where you can see the preparation, the chef, the cooks, everyone. And this is one of the cocktails that they bring to your table and they start making that is just like a out of work. And I just really, really love it.
Perfect.
Well, that was my number one, but your number one is the lakefront.
My number one is the lakefront. So I talked about this a little bit in the previous lesson, and Chicago's on a huge lake. It is Lake Michigan, and the city is right up on the lake. So if you see the picture right here, you can see how the lake comes right up to the city. But the interesting thing is that one of the early decisions when they were planning Chicago was to keep the lakefront open as parkland. So all the way from the very far north to the very far south in Chicago is open parkland. And as you go from the very north to the south, you see beaches, you see parks, you see a golf course, you see marinas, basketball courts, skateboarding areas, all kinds of stuff like that. So it's a lot of open space, and it's just like the city's backyard. It's where we go to enjoy the summertime, really all year long, but especially in the summertime, the lakefront really comes alive.
Okay, you want to know what I like the most about the lakefront?
Tell us.
I actually this summer went for a bike riding at least 4 times a week, just during summer. I enjoy riding my bike in the mornings. But you know what? I also at night sometimes when I go out with my friends for dinner, we would be like, we're too full. Let's just walk sometime. So we go to the lake and we start like just walking there at night with the moon. It's like very romantic view. It's just like a group of friends of 7 just walking all around the lake.
Yeah, and what you see in the picture right now is one of a section of the trail. So the trail is for bikers, for pedestrians, walking, running, rollerblading, all of that stuff. Strollers, everyone gets a chance to enjoy the lakefront path, and that's 30 kilometers. So it goes almost from the top to almost the bottom of the city. Fantastic. All right, so JR, your number 2 is the Shed Aquarium. Tell us about the Shed Aquarium.
All right, going to the Shed Aquarium is not something normal like you go in your city where it's probably open at 10 or 11 a.m. and closes at 5 or 6. This aquarium opens for adults only from 5 to 10 every Wednesday during summer. You won't see kids and you can just walk all around at night, see the fish, the animals, and moreover, they have like stands where you can grab a drink, any drink of your preference. And you know what? Guess what happens at 9 p.m.?
I know what happens. Tell us.
Do you?
I know what
Everyone goes
happens.
out to the patio and there's a show of fireworks all over the lake.
Yeah, so every Wednesday and every Saturday during the summer in Chicago, they set off fireworks from Navy Pier, which is a little bit north of the aquarium. But my favorite place to watch those fireworks is actually this part of the aquarium right here. There's a nice grassy area. You can sit there, you see a beautiful view of the skyline, all the buildings, and then off to one side, you see Navy Pier and the fireworks come up. And it's just an absolutely great thing to do on a Wednesday or a Saturday night in Chicago. So if you're looking for a good skyline view, take a few minutes while you're here, walk around the museum campus, the Shed Aquarium, get that good skyline picture because it's a really fantastic view from there.
Okay, wait, I missed to say the part with the band.
Oh,
There's a jazz band inside and a jazz band outside. For people who likes to be in the AC, you can stay all night. AC, air conditioning, and if you like to enjoy outside, there's also a jazz band outside. It's very beautiful. Well, that was my number 2, but your number 2 is the neighborhoods. What do you mean by that?
yeah, the neighborhoods are interesting. So most people that come and visit, they go into downtown, they go to the museums, they go to the aquarium, they go to the lakefront, all of that stuff. But I really like all of the different neighborhoods around the city. They say that Chicago is a city of neighborhoods, and it is really true because they all have a different character. So where I live, where we are right now, is Albany Park. There's a lot of diversity here, a lot of different kinds of food, different kinds of people in this neighborhood, and others are different. You know, Wicker Park in Bucktown is more artistic. Hyde Park has the University of Chicago, and a lot of neighborhoods are centered around huge parks. So this park is the center of the neighborhood, and like the neighborhood grew up around the park. So that's something I really like. Other neighborhoods are really closely related to an ethnicity. So, for example, Jefferson Park is the Polish area. The Puerto Rican area would be Humboldt Park. And there's a huge Mexican tradition in Pilsen. And all of these are accessible by train. So, if you do come and visit, absolutely do the downtown attractions, but get on the train, get on the bus, or take an Uber out to some of the smaller neighborhoods because they're really nice.
Okay, you want to know what's my favorite neighborhood?
Yes.
Well, I actually have 2. Number 1 is the one that I live in because I just love it. It's super safe, and I feel like I live in the middle of everything. I'm just 2 blocks from the lake, so I can just walk 2 blocks and I'll be there in the lakefront path. But I'm also close to all the neighborhoods that he just mentioned, and I can get there on my scooter, biking, by train. It's very easy. And my second neighborhood I really like is Chinatown. Who doesn't like Chinese food? So I like to go there. I have dinner at my favorite restaurant. Then me and my friends take a water taxi from the river on Chinatown all the way down to downtown to the Riverwalk, and then we just walk and enjoy the view. Those are my two favorite neighborhoods.
Perfect. All right, JR. So your number 3 attraction is the Field Museum. And those of you listening, you heard a little bit about this on Thursday, but JR, take us through what you like at the Field Museum.
Of course, I like everything, the dinosaurs and every single section. But what I like the most is when they have special exhibitions. I just went to see the last one like 2 months ago. It was called Jurassic Oceans, and it was about the aquatic animals, how they were before they evolved and how they look nowadays. It was like a big difference of the skeletons. I really, really enjoyed that. Also, sometimes I get invited to dinners there in the middle of all the museum, which is like pretty nice, pretty cool.
Yeah, the atrium, the entryway into the Field Museum is really nice. They have events. My old company used to have Christmas parties there too, and it's just a great environment.
Okay, we're gonna say the last one, and your last one is the history.
My last one is the history. Now, I talked about this a little bit in the lesson on Thursday, but what I really like about Chicago is how they blend the historical parts with the much more modern parts. Now, when you think about historical cities in the US, you tend to think about Boston, Philadelphia, New York, sometimes Washington, D.C. Our history is a little bit different because Chicago started after all of those cities were really grown up. But our history is much more about the history of commerce and how the economy and the interior, the middle of the country developed, which happened many years later than the East Coast, where some of those historical cities are. So in the picture, if you're watching online, in the picture is a perfect example of a classic old theater. In the background, you have one of the original skyscrapers. And then off to the left, you see some more modern buildings like that. And that's what it's like to walk around downtown Chicago. There's always a mix of old and new. And if you want to learn a little more about Chicago's history, there's a fantastic museum here called the Chicago History Museum as well. That is in Lincoln Park.
All right, that was very interesting. I think I always learn about history when I'm right next to Jeff. He knows everything about history. That's something I don't know a lot. But all right, it's time for the lightning round. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Now, the lightning round is something that happens at the end of a game show or a competition or something when the main part of the competition is over, and then you just do some very fast examples after that. So in the lightning round, we are just going to put up a picture and say what we like the best. So number 1, this is JR's.
This is mine. Don't steal it.
No,
I
sorry.
love going to the beach in the summer. I love spending time there with my friends, either just swimming, getting tan, and also I love going there and rooting for my friends while they play volleyball.
Perfect. And you can see people playing volleyball on the beach right here. So my lightning round choice, my first one, is the Riverwalk. And this is in downtown. You can see there's like a little pathway along the river. It goes all the way through downtown. It comes in from the lake and kind of bends around. And it's a perfect view of the city. It's like below the street level. So you're looking up at all the buildings. And it's a great place to just relax in the middle of the city, enjoy the architecture, and enjoy a little food and drink as well.
Great. My number 2 is the Lincoln Park Zoo. I can get there by walking, just like it takes me like 15 minutes. And what I like the most is that it's something perfect to do during summer. You enjoy the sun, enjoy the animals, and the best part is for free. You don't have to pay, you just come in and you have your experience.
Great. Next up for me is the breweries. Now we have some famous-ish local breweries. Goose Island is one of the well-known local breweries, but we have lots of small breweries too. You can take a tour, you can taste all their fresh beer, and they all have a different style of beer and a different atmosphere. And that is what I really like.
My next one is the Art Institute. Here you can see the lions. Those are right in the front. My favorite part of the museums is that they have one of my favorite paintings, that is the Nighthawks, and it's exhibited here permanently. Whenever you go, it's always there. And they also have a very good exhibition of the paintings of Monet, which I also like.
Perfect. And you knew this was coming. My last one is Wrigley Field. Now, the Cubs are not my team. However, Wrigley Field is a beautiful stadium. It's built in 1914, and it's absolutely a fun atmosphere, both inside and outside the stadium. So that is my last one from the lightning round.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I was not expecting as many as you. I hope you like this lesson.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is all for lesson 500. So for those of you who are on the live stream, the fun will continue. We're going to show the members video here in just a second. We worked hard on that last night, and we'll have the giveaway winners and then a champagne toast. If you're listening on a podcast app, then that is the end of lesson 500, but you can watch all the stream, including the members video, at plainenglish.com/500.